In this video, how to download and install Visual Studio and SQL Server. SQL Server Management Studio. Open your favorite browser and then search for Visual Studio. The first link which will appear here will be from visualstudio.microsoft.com. I'm going to just click on this link, and once this visualstudio.com website is open, you can see on the top downloads button and click on this. Here you can see various version available. And we need Visual Studio 2019 version. Scroll down and here you can see older downloads. Click on this. Scroll down and click on the 2019. Click on this download button. It will redirect it to the Microsoft login page. Enter your email address. Click Next. Enter your password. Click Sign In button. Select Visual Studio 2019 version 6.11. Here you can choose Visual Studio Community 2019. Just click on this download button and wait for a few seconds. The Visual Studio installer downloaded. I'm going to click on the executable file. I will just minimize my browser. Click to continue. You can see the Visual Studio installer has been started. Various options for installing additional files are available here. Select ASP.NET and Web Development. And select .NET, Desktop Development. And select .NET, Cross-Platform Development. Then select Install while downloading. Click on Install. And wait for a few minutes. It depends upon your bandwidth. If you have an account, using this sign-in option you can sign in. If you don't have an account, you can create account. Click for Not Now, Sign In Later. Choose the color theme and click Start Visual Studio. I will just minimize the installer. Again, open your favorite browser and then search for SQL Server. The first link which will appear here will be from Microsoft.com. I'm going to just click on this link, and once this Microsoft.com website is open, you can see various options available. There are two editions available. One is Developer Edition and another one is Express Edition. We need Express Edition. Click on this download button. SQL Express Edition downloaded. I'm going to click on the executable file. I will just minimize the browser. You can see the SQL Server installer has been started. Select Custom option. Installation location by default disk. See if you need to change. Select location or leave by default. Ready to install SQL Server. Click on Install. And wait for a few minutes. SQL Server 2019 downloaded successfully. Various options for installing additional features are available here. Click on this new SQL Server standalone installation. The setup will start. Click Next. Checking the product updates. Click Next. Loading installation. Setup files. Click Next. Here given the installation rules. Click Next. Installation type leave by default. Click Next. Read the license terms and accept license terms.
Click Next. Click Next.
Select default instance.
Click Next.
Install JRE by default, or, if already installed, select location of the JRE.
Click Next.
Select Windows Authentication Mode.
Click Next.
Accept Install R Programming.
Click Next.
Accept Install Python Programming.
Click Next.
Installation process.
Click Next.
SQL Server 2019 setup completed. Click on this Install SQL Server Management Tools. It will redirect to the SQL Server Management Studio. Scroll down and click on the SSMS download. SQL Server Management Studio downloaded. I'm going to click on the executable file. I will just minimize the browser. You can see the SQL Server installer has been started. Installation location by default disk C. If you need to change, select location or leave by default. Ready to install SQL Server. Click on Install and wait for a few minutes. SQL Server Management Studio installed successfully. Open SQL Server Management Studio. Server type mentioned here. Choose server name, or leave by default. Authentication is Windows Authentication. Click to connect. Right-click Database. Enter the database name. Click OK. The database created. Open new query and create table. You can see the query for employee table. Click to execute the query. Employee table and database successfully created. Back to Visual Studio installer. Click to launch Visual Studio Code. Here select Create a new project. Various project templates are available here. Select programming language as C#. Scroll down and choose aspdotnetcore Web API.
Click Next.
Enter the project name whatever you need. Project location by default disk C, and you can change the location of the project.
Click Next.
Choose the current .NET version of the framework. And other settings leave by default. Click to create the project. Project created and general folder and default files are available here. All dependencies packages are available here. Launch settings. JSON file is used to store the configuration information, which describes how to start the ASP.NET Core application. Web API controller is similar to aspdotnetmvc controller. It handles incoming HTTP requests and send response back to the caller. Web API controller is a class which can be created under the controllers folder or any other folder under your project's root folder. The app settings. JSON file is an application configuration file used to store configuration settings such as database connections, strings, any application scope, global variables. Program.cs file is the entry point of the application. This will be executed first when the application runs. There is a public static void main method. Whatever code you write inside that method will be executed in that same order. Startup.cs file contains startup class which triggers at first when application launches and even in each HTTP request or response. The default weather forecast class and some variables are given here. Click to execute IIS Express server. The website is open. You can see the Swagg API. By default, get method only available for weather forecast controller. Get method values are available and response code 200. Schema available. It is a weather forecast model. Data are given here. Minimize the tab and here you can see the performance of CPU and memory usage. Close the tab. It stop the server. Now we connect the database and use for the API. Here you can add connection string details. Enter the server name. Enter the database name. Create the folder for model class. Right-click model, add and select class. Rename the class as an employee.cs file. Click on Add. Now let's add properties. Employee table has been 5 columns. We will add 5 properties. We need to install the packages. Select Tools. Choose NuGet Package Manager for solution. By default, Swagg package installed. First, we need to install SQL client package. Select system.data.sql client. Latest version available. Click to install. Preview the changes and click OK. Read and accept the license. SQL client package installed. Then we need to install JSON packages. Select Microsoft.aspnetcore.mvc.newtonsoft JSON. Select the version and click to install. Preview the changes and click OK. Read and accept the license. JSON package installed. Here you can see the packages which we are installed. Now we need create the controller for employee table. Add, select controller. Select API and empty controller. Rename as employee controller. Click on Add. Employee controller created. Importing namespace classes. Already coded we are using here because it's time consuming. HTTP post method, function name add employee, insert query. If employee added successfully, the message has displayed. HTTP get method by employee ID, function name get employee, select query. HTTP put method by employee ID, function name edit employee, update query. If employee updated successfully, the message has displayed. HTTP delete method by employee ID, function name delete employee, using delete query. If employee deleted successfully, the message has displayed. Using this to save the code, or Ctrl+S. Click to execute the code. All API methods are available here. Schema model data are given here. First, we check the post API methods. Click to execute post request. The employee added successfully and response code 200. Check whether employee insert in employee table or not. Click here to add a query or select here. Execute the query. Here you can see the result employee details. Add one more record. Check it again. Here you can see the updated employee details. Get method using by employee ID. Put method using by employee ID. Delete method using by employee ID. The employee has been deleted successfully. Check the employee has deleted or not. Here you can see the employee has been deleted.